Welcome to Going the Extra Mile, a podcast brought to you by Newleaf Training and Development. Each edition is sure to lift your spirit and encourage you in today's working world. Enjoy!
I'm sure you've heard about DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, asking federal employees to detail 5 workplace accomplishments from the prior week. The focus of this column is never intended to be political, but I must say that this is something I agree with and personally do and have been doing for about 20 years now, with a slight twist. So once upon a time in a land far away, I worked as a regional finance director for Marriott International Hotels. We supported 48 hotels, and in my role, I provided operational finance services to 4 regional directors covering England, Wales, and Scotland. To put it simply, I had a lot going on. One of my regional directors was named Heiko, and something I learned from him has stuck with me all these years, both as an employee and now as a business owner. Usually towards the end of his working day on a Friday, he would prepare and submit a 1-sheet document that he titled his WIN plan. This stood for What's Important Now. Imagine a single landscape formatted document with the 5 days of the normal working week listed down the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, each day, Heiko would list 5 to 7 bullet points of what he deemed to be his highest priorities for that day, that week. And Heiko would send this out to his direct reports, one of whom was me. And at first, I must admit, I thought, what on earth is this? And why do I need to know what Heiko's plans are for the week? But after a few weeks of receiving this single sheet on time, like clockwork, every Friday afternoon, I started to realise the genius of this gesture. I didn't have to guess what was top of mind for Heiko. It was there in black and white. I didn't have to wonder where his travels would take him across our portfolio of hotels, as it was all mapped out. I didn't have to hope I'd remember what deadlines he was working toward, and consequently when I needed to have certain tasks done. It was all crystal clear and concise. Not only did Heiko's WIN plan impress me, but I can honestly say that when I think about the 4 regions my finance function supported, his was by far the most efficient, the most effective, and the most profitable. I believe this was because his focus and attention to results-driven activity was superior to the other 3 regions. In hindsight, I also found his regional team to be the best, the most joyful, and the least stressed group compared to the others that I supported. As I reflect upon the principle Heiko employed and inspired, I realise now it's the universal and objective truth that mental creation precedes physical creation. See, do, get. This principle demonstrates in very pragmatic terms that if we want an effective and efficient week, we have to first envision one. Proverbs tells us that as a person thinks, so are they. So it's ancient wisdom. Of course, a vision without action is just hallucination, so we must ensure we do what we say we're going to do. And therein lies another aspect of the genius behind Heiko's WIN plan. By sharing the plan, he was more likely to achieve it. By trumpeting and declaring what he was planning to do, he knew his integrity would suffer if his words were nothing more than a clanging bell with no melody. So whereas DOGE is asking employees to look in the rearview mirror to reflect on the week that was, Heiko's WIN plan was clearly looking out the windshield at the week that will be. I learned a lot from Heiko, but most of all, he taught me by example the value and importance of casting a vision for the week ahead, sharing it with those you work interdependently with, and then holding yourself accountable for executing all that you stated you would. Heiko taught me to look forward and glance backwards. In summary, I believe that all employees and entrepreneurs would actually benefit tremendously from implementing Heiko's WIN plan. He saw his team as being his customers. Just how I believe it's actually fair and reasonable to remind federal employees they too have customers, and they're called the US taxpayer.
I hope you found that short story useful, and if you did, feel free to rate, review, and share this podcast. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we also invite you to check out our other weekly podcast, Take 5, an inspiring interview with a leader worth listening to. Bye for now.